pissed off about this thing, saying that Donald Trump does not want to bring like strong women around him, right? And I happened to check out a couple of things this week, and I'm gonna take it out with this because I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Now, I don't know this Kristi Noem chick from South Dakota, but I'm gonna say this. For guys, right? Straight men, if an attractive woman is in the room, the way that dudes talk to her, the way that the dudes talk to her is way different than if an ugly chick is talking. I'm just being real. Oh, you got banned from the chat? Glenn Paul, thanks for stopping in the chat over. You got banned from the chat. Well, it wasn't my chat because we over here to have a real conversation. So I think that maybe the children shouldn't be, I don't know. Like I said, different strokes for different folks. Different families have different values. And if you really are supporting, maybe your child might be living an alternative lifestyle. I understand being there to support. And thanks for stopping in, Johnny Boys. Truly appreciate it. But I'm going to take this last piece out because anybody who's on this side of Trump not wanting strong women around him needs to see this Kristi Noem chick. And you can check out Pam Bondi. But Pam Bondi's face don't move enough for me. It looks weird. She's cute, but it's like her cheeks don't move. Her mouth be moving. Her eyes be blinking. But it's like the other muscles around that just don't. They don't move. It's like she's kind of like a mannequin, like a statue, right? With a moving mouth, like one of them little memes where they got the picture of something and then the mouth be moving. It's like a different person's mouth. That's how it looks. That's how it looks. So, yeah, you got to watch out for jumping into people's chats that are supporting certain things because if you give them an objective opinion, they quick to get rid of it. They don't want to see anything that goes against what it is that they feeling on the inside. Pause. So I'm going to bring y'all this Kristi Noem chick, and I'm going to take it out with her. I'm going to let her get a couple of minutes in. And I just want you to watch how the dudes talk to her. Because in dude language, you can tell when a dude's trying to hit. Or wants to make sure that he doesn't take the possible hittage off the table by saying some goofy shit. And so the way that everybody talks to this woman is literally on that line. It's like they want to ask their questions, but they're like, oh, I don't want to take away the possibility that we might be cool at the office function at Christmas. Get a couple of drinks up in her. Anyway, I'm not saying they're going to take advantage. I'm just saying grown people can have a good time, right? So let me bring this lady over to y'all. Hold on. Here she comes. Her name is Kristi Noem. She is a South Dakota, whatever she is. She's a South Dakota Congress person. Like I said, I'm not into politics, but I heard everybody say that Trump don't like strong women in his cabinet or around him. And he picked this lady and that other lady. And I've been seeing that all week. And then at the end of the week, I got a bunch of feminists marching on DC talking about misogyny and all this stuff. It's very confusing. So we're going to just take a few minutes to let this Kristi Noem lady get her best little clips out. I'm going to speed it up because I got shit to do. Okay? So we're going to go through this together for just a moment, and then we're going to get up out of here. And then y'all go enjoy the rest of your day. Get ready for the inauguration. Hopefully no crazy shit breaks out with that women's march in D.C. But at some point, they're going to get cold. You know what I'm saying? Women get cold. They ain't going to stay out there all damn day. It's cold in D.C. They're going to be like, okay, well, it was fun. Yep. And they're going to take their little ass back home and chill out. So you let her do her thing here, guys.
And he will do that, and I'll be glad to have him back.
And I
don't
assume that's a
speak
yes.
to hypotheticals, which is what you're asking me to do. But what I will tell you is that as secretary, I will do the same. I will deliver the programs as the
Well, it's
laws
more than a
dictate.
hypothetical, with all due respect. And I apologize for interrupting you.
See,
but
I
my time is
apologize. I'm
limited, as
sorry,
you know,
just in case you like me
a veteran of these
later.
hearings. It's more than a hypothetical. It's based on experience with President Trump withholding money from Washington State and elsewhere.
Because he didn't like the governor.
Will you stand up to the president and say, no, the Constitution and the Impoundment Act requires us, for example, to allocate the $100 billion that we have just appropriated in the last session to
Damn, $100 billion?
states like Connecticut, $3 million, Texas, $10 million. Almost every one of
What
the
about
states
me?
represented here.
Can I get $1
Will you
million
say no
since
to the
we're at
president
it?
if he withholds that money?
Sir, I don't know about the scenarios that you're referencing with
Yeah, I don't know what the
President
hell
Trump,
you're
but what I will
talking
tell you
about,
is
but
that if given the chance to be Secretary of Homeland Security, that I will deliver the programs according to the law and that it will be done with no political bias. And if the programs
me tell you
change,
what.
or if you decide to change the rule of law, then I will follow that
Yeah.
while
So you
adhering to the
pledge to
Constitution.
allocate and distribute that $100 billion?
Yes, that's what the hell she just
According
said.
to how the
Yes.
program is written with no political bias.
Yes.
Every American deserves to be there and have disaster relief
Yes.
the same as their neighbors.
I can
What
shorten
you
all
do
that by saying
in
yes.
your new role to try and start reducing over time the moral hazard that we have created in this country with federal disaster relief?
Well, Senator,
Hold on a
emergencies
second.
and disasters
Hold on.
are all
Hold on. Pause. Hey, Glenn Paul, thanks for stopping in the chat and dropping that for me. So she was scrutinized for shooting her dog while out hunting pheasants. Look, I don't know if she shot the dog on purpose. It's probably an accident, but I don't think that has anything to do with whether or not she can help us deport illegal immigrants. Matter of fact, it might help. I don't know. We don't want to put a gun in her hand. We don't need to. That's what we got the Border Patrol for. So if she didn't shoot someone in the face like Dick Cheney did, then I think we're good on that. I don't think that's something that should keep her from being confirmed. I don't know if the dog survived, but I'm just saying, when it comes to the country, sorry you accidentally shot your dog, but at the end of the day, I don't care. So, just to give y'all one more piece here, like I said, and I caught her with her mouth open. Look at that. Somebody's tuning in right now, like, hold on, what we talking about? What we talking about? Who that? So, this lady, like I said, she's supposed to be a weak, meager woman because Trump does not like strong women around him. So this meager woman is in front of Congress, and I want you to see how meek and meager she is. That's what we're talking about. And I just want to make sure that we're all able to see it.
always locally led. They're led by the local communities and leaders, and that's because they're much more responsive and much better informed on how to bring relief and to get those emergency services there to meet the need. Then it's state supported and federally resourced, which means that when we come in, that we're supporting what the mission is, what those emergency operations and plans are that the local city and county and then also the state has implemented and do what we can to fulfill the mission of our programs. One of the things that FEMA's not doing today that I think we should be doing is streamlining communications. We saw this in New Orleans. We saw it in other terrorist attacks.
Use a
in the
damn
country.
cell phone.
You just referenced it as well about the American people
Sorry.
not getting the truth, senators not getting the truth and the transparency that we
True.
need. Is that I believe FEMA can always put out a blueprint for what a response would be should something terrible happen.
Okay.
And when we look at the Secret Service, what happened in Butler, we saw that communication was an issue, that the Secret Service wasn't communicating and balls were getting dropped with local authorities, local law
Balls were getting
enforcement, and we
dropped.
can put forward a blueprint for how
Pause.
communication can happen and be streamlined between the federal government, the state, and the local entities, so that should something happen, this is how we talk to each other, to make sure that the public has the facts, they're not getting misinformation, which happened with the New Orleans terror attack just recently, but also up in Pennsylvania as well. That blueprint
she
is
don't
what
sound too
we
dumb
do
to
at
me.
the state level that FEMA has failed to do, to proactively educate the public on what everybody's roles are, what we do should something happen, whether it be a natural disaster or a terrorist attack or an emergency response is needed, that we can put out those blueprints ahead of time, educate people, train those local entities, which they currently do to a certain extent today, but not good enough to really know that not only can the resources be pre-deployed in many of these situations so that they're more readily accessible, but also how are we going to communicate and make sure everybody's on the same page so that we can be much more efficient. I wish that we would have had different leadership and a different governor in California, or we might have a different result there. But in the
she
Department
had
of
to
Homeland
take
Security, we
shots
can do
at
all that we
Cali
can to make
Governor
sure that
Newsom.
the people that live in California know that they're going to get a response from the federal government that's appropriate, and we did all that we could to make sure that they had the information ahead of time so they could protect themselves when they do have a failure in leadership like we've
What
seen.
about the $770?
Concierge service for illegal
All right,
immigrants.
hold on. I'm gonna stop before I let Josh Hawley's crazy ass get on here. But just real quick, so like I said, this lady is supposed to be weak, meager woman, and it sounds like she knows what the hell she's talking about. So that's going against what I was fed, which is that these are supposed to be some idiots that he's putting around in these positions, and he doesn't like strong or smart women, and that he's against women, like in a general sense. And I don't see that from this lady. But I do see that Josh Hawley, look at his face. Josh Hawley wants some of that. He wants some of that. He wants to get down. He wants to get known by the gnome, Kristi Noem. And I mean known in the biblical sense. Just saying. So I'm gonna let him do his piece, and then I'm getting ready to get out of here. But I just wanted to
I'm
make
you're
sure
familiar
that I'm
this
not
was the
missing
Biden
something here.
administration's effort to allow asylum seekers to apply ahead of time using their phones,
wanted y'all
but
to hear
not
it.
actually to provide any evidence that they needed asylum. There was a newspaper report, a press report that said the only problem with the app is it never asks users, are you seeking asylum? They don't ask for any asylum evidence. They simply release these so-called asylum seekers who use the app into the country on parole. Sometimes they're never given a hearing.
Sounds like
The
a bad
Inspector General
idea.
actually did a report, a full investigation report on CBP1, and found that frequently users of this app were claiming the same addresses in the United States as their intended destination, even though they didn't know each other, they weren't family connections. In other words, it
They
has
just
been
had a safe
completely
house
abused.
address.
And the idea that
Everybody,
the federal government would pay for
124
this kind
Las
of
Vegas
concierge
Avenue.
service for illegals, I think is outrageous. Will you end the use of the CBP1 app?
Yes, Senator, if confirmed, and I have the opportunity to be secretary on day one, CBP1 will be shut down. There's
You know,
data and
for a white
information in
lady,
there
she's
that
got
we
some
will
real
preserve
full
so that we
lips.
can ensure we know who's coming into this country and who's already here that we need to go
And-
find.
and it
but
helps
also
her
we,
enunciate her
make sure that
words.
There's another
I will
program,
say that.
CHNV, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, where our federal government actually paid to fly people into this country directly from other countries without any vetting or knowing who they are. So there's several of these programs that need to be eliminated, and we need to ensure that we're following legal immigration law.
The present administration, soon to be gone, has granted mass parole in direct defiance of the law, not case-by-case evaluation. The CHNV program is one of those instances. Will you
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, that woman is not no slouch. Like I said, I'm not gonna bring up the Pam Bondi thing because I don't have time for that. But she wasn't no slouch either. So you can say what the hell you want, but like just to say it. But I need some proof. You want me to believe that this man is putting nothing but boneheaded, airheaded women around him? Then bring me one in front of Josh Hawley, who I know will scorch anybody who's not right on their shit, right? He would have loved to totally debunk somebody who wasn't qualified. You see what I'm saying? He's good at it. So the fact that he's coming into it, he's almost looking like the way he's looking at it. I feel like he might have slid his number to her or tried to get that. He's like, look, since we need to talk about this congressional hearing later, can I get your number? What's your IG? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just wanted to put out the example because we had a bunch of ladies who I might not consider to be as smart as this Kristi Noem lady, and they're all marching on Washington right now. Meanwhile, this supposedly meek and meager woman that Trump has put around him is in here handling business, answering questions. I can understand what she's saying. I mean, some of it's a little long-winded, but that's how Congress does, right? So I'm not mad at her for being a little long-winded with the answers, but it's not like she doesn't answer the question. She might take a while to get there, but she's putting all of the extra details and information in there to let you know that she's about her shit. And I'm all right with that. Thumbs up to this Kristi Noem lady.
You put a stop to this abuse of our parole law and our asylum system.
Yes, we will go back to case-by-case evaluation of these parole cases and ensure that we have more resources, if you will partner with us, to make sure that our legal immigration system is fully utilized, that we have more judges, more immigration courts, so that we can process people legally and make sure that they are.
Look, I ain't gonna lie,
going
man.
through
I
that
am
process
not
rather
gonna be
than
upset
the
about some of
Joe
the
Biden
things
has
I'll
done,
be
use this
seeing
as an
on
excuse to
TV
allow people
with
to
this
come into
new
our country without
administration. At
consequences.
least
Yes,
she
we're
looks
victims
great. She's
of the
doing all
company
right.
who still
Nothing wrong
are
with
not
that.
big
Being
fat
pretty
with
and
the
smart.
that you will support that kind of effort.
Senator, the Trump administration never had a family separation policy. They had a zero tolerance policy, which said that our laws would be followed.
All right, I'm gonna hold on now. And you jumped in there, and you said something about I would want her to, and that's why I'm saying that. Let me tell you what. A beautiful woman is a beautiful woman. That's a pretty woman. So I'm a straight man. I happen to be in a committed relationship, so I would not be able to do anything with Kristi Noem. But come on now, it looked pretty good. It's gonna be all right on TV. And don't come up against her because dudes, you see the guy behind her? I don't know if you ever seen the movie Die Hard. There was this guy in the movie Die Hard. He was like at the front desk as one of the terrorists. He looks like that guy. Now, granted, the guy got shot in the head at the end of the movie, but he was a bad guy. This guy behind her, I don't know who he is, right? But I know if something was to be of a threat to this woman, dudes is going to be, you don't even have to be part of the government to be trying to take a bullet for this one. I'm just being real. There will be regular citizens, homeless guy will jump up, Kristi Noem, and will take a dive in front of a bullet for this woman. So she will be protected. And like I said, she's not bad looking. She's not tough on the eyes. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm an older guy, so I see that, I'm like, yeah, that's seasoned right there. That's seasoned beauty. That beauty done been through some things and came back and may have had to put some ointments on at night and wear the cold mask, like, yeah, did you hold it on that long? You got to do some work. So shouts to Kristi Noem for keeping her education and her looks up. Now, like I said, I got 1 minute and 44 seconds left to go on this
Harmed by
clip.
is the over 300,000 children that went missing
Yeah,
during
she
the
talking
Biden
about the
administration.
kids
And when
missing.
we talk about children and what they're
Where's the kids at?
potentially facing as far as victimization in this country and the trafficking that's going on, this administration's lack of desire to find out where those children are, what they may be going
I didn't
through
even
is
know the
what
kids
we
was
need to do.
missing
So
until
I
they
want to
started
stop
talking about it a
this.
few
Myron,
months
I'm just
ago.
gonna
I didn't know nothing about no
interrupt
missing
again and
kids.
say, let's put aside.
Well, I can't put aside
Let's put aside
340,000
the
children.
labels. Let's put aside what happened in the
Hey,
past.
make sure y'all hitting the like
There are
button
still
too, man.
1,000 children who are separated and waiting to be reunited. I'd like your commitment that you're going to continue the effort to reunite them with their parents.
Senator, keeping families together is critically important to me and to this
God,
country.
she's
I'm
awesome.
concerned about Laken Riley's family, that they no longer have her. I'm concerned about the fact that we have people in this country that don't know where their children are, or people in other countries who send their children here and they've been lost by this administration. So yes, my focus will be to keep families together. We will uphold our
Look at the
law
guy
and we'll make
behind
sure
her, though.
that
He
we're doing
is just,
everything we can
he
to keep our
believes
children
everything.
safe
He's
from
like,
the
yeah,
trafficking and the
she's
drug
right.
epidemic that's hit this country.
Will you pledge to us that you will open the books on all of the facts associated and around these assassination attempts, that you will make available to us and to the public, most importantly, all the facts, so that we can ensure that this never happens again and that the needed reforms in the Secret Service are put into effect?
Yeah.
This is
Senator,
for the
if I
Trump
am the
assassination.
Secretary of Homeland Security, I will certainly work with you to build transparency and make sure the facts are shared.
Well, she gonna work with
you
him,
and your
all right.
committee. I know that
They're
you've
gonna
been
be
very
working
frustrated
together.
by the lack of transparency from the department. And I want to thank those of you that have worked on that report that was put together on these assassination attempts. I know it was a bipartisan report and investigation that this committee conducted, and I appreciate you focusing on that, and I will work with you to get the information so that you have the truth of really what happened there and the failures so they can be
Okay.
fixed. Is that people don't trust the federal government. They don't trust our leadership
That
and
is
this
true.
current administration that's in the White House right now to tell them the truth, about what the threats really are, about our agencies and departments, when there are failures, addressing them and fixing it. The Secret Service is one of those perfect examples. They need leadership that understands why that Secret Service was created and what it needs to do. There's two elements really that the Secret Service is tasked with, and that is protective detail and then also investigations. Yet we see investigators within the Secret Service out there investigating antiquities and other things that are off mission when they should be focused on making sure we're addressing national security events with the protocols that are necessary and protecting the individuals that they're charged with
put your
and getting
full
that skill
face
set and
up
training
there,
that are
Kristi
necessary.
Noem.
That's been compromised by not having enough people there and being adequately staffed and resourced. But frankly, the leadership hasn't been honest about talking about it. We saw this with the drones over New Jersey as well, the federal government not answering the questions from the public. And when they finally got a straight answer out of President Trump, they felt reassured that somebody recognized that this was something they were questioning and that they deserved
still haven't
answers.
told us nothing about the
my
damn
goal
drones,
and my
though.
mission is to build trust.
Okay,
We
well,
will
Kristi, can
undertake
you tell us
a
about the
large
drones?
job and a large duty that we have to fulfill, that the American people expect us to do by securing our border, to make sure that our nation is a nation with borders, or we're no nation at all, and that we are making sure that those criminal actors that are perpetuating violence in our communities and in our cities and towns and states are removed from this country, that there's consequences for breaking the law in our country again. There has to be consequences, because when Americans break the law, there's consequences.
True.
And why would we ever allow someone to come in from another country and not allow them and not have consequences, or allow them to continue to go forward and to commit rape and murders and break other laws that endanger our society. So we've had over 13,000 murders that are loose in this country that have come over that border. We've had almost 16,000 rapists and sexual assault perpetrators that are loose in this country right now. 425,000 plus people have criminal convictions that are here illegally in this country that our current administration is doing nothing to round them up and get them out of our country. We will be doing that immediately, and that will be the priority. And that is one of the reasons that today the American people have lost their trust. President Trump will build it back and know that their federal government is accountable to them and is working to put America first again.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, okay? I don't really know what's gonna happen in this next situation. I really don't. But I feel like the changes might not be that bad. Because I'm tired of the press secretaries and all of them lying all the time, and then they get fact checked by the dude like what's his name, Peter Ducey or whatever. And they're constantly lying about shit. They're constantly trying to tell us something. If this lady Kristi Noem is going to do something different, I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm not going to lie. Could be worse as far as what we're going to have to deal with. But this is the director of Homeland Security, who's a nice looking lady from South Dakota. And she's obviously got people that really like her, because I haven't really heard much bad about her other than the thing that where she shot her dog by accident. So she's obviously kept her nose clean over the years. Maybe not 100%, but she at least didn't get caught doing nothing. And now she's about to go as the director of Homeland Security. And between her and the Pam Bondi chick, and I forgot what, Tulsi Gabbard, and a couple of those other women that Trump has put around, I don't see no weaklings, yo. You can say what you want about them, but I listen to them talk and kind of check them out. I don't see no weak ass airhead, Real Housewives of freaking Atlanta type of chicks. You see what I'm saying? I see some women that did about their business. And I think we should let them be about that business and hold them accountable the same way that we're going to hold Trump accountable when he messes up. But right now, anybody that's up in that D.C. area, if you are connected to anyone who's planning on going down to D.C., or anybody who's currently in D.C. doing the protesting, just tell them to keep it safe up there. We don't need another January 6th to happen. We don't need nothing like that. Let's just get through these next couple days. Let's see what kind of crazy shit Trump throw out on day one, you know, because he said on day one he's going to do like 100 executive orders. Let's get to that point, because you can't stop nothing. You can't stop nothing by going down there right now. You saw that from January 6th. Nothing changed. He still did not get to be the president. Mike Pence still signed off on the shit, and it was what it was, right? Nothing changed. So let's not go down there expecting a change. If you want to go down there and just be down there, hold your signs, that's fine. Just keep it safe. Keep it chill. Do not forget the House bill that came through that said that them local police can start to use deadly force and the military if they see fit. And that's recent. So they're expecting something, and it doesn't matter who it is that do it. Y'all can all get shot in the ass down there, okay? And they'll be pepper spraying and fire hosing and all types of stuff. And there's no lack of water in D.C., okay? So everybody keep it together, because we can do this together. We've already survived a Trump presidency, unless you're like less than 8 years old. So most of the people that watch this show have either been through it or were out of the country when it happened, and now they're coming back, and now they're just going to deal with it again. And I think this group, the Kristi Noems, the Pam Bondis, them folks, I feel like we might get some good stuff out of this. And if nothing else, at least we got some pretty intelligent women to be a decent example to young women. They not out here on OnlyFans. They not out here twerking and shaking their ass and doing nothing. They holding congressional spots and federal positions to protect the entire country. So if that's not empowerment to women, I don't know what the hell is, man. I don't know what else they're expecting. So they didn't get the damn presidency. So what? You're looking at a woman right now that could be in the presidency in a couple years if she does what she needs to do. So it's not that it's without possibility.